Welcome back to Rubbin Minds. As you already know, Rubbin Minds celebrates the best of Nigeria, especially its young people. And recently, the New York Times celebrated these gentlemen, Joe Akan and Stephen Tayo, the photographer. I think it's a big deal to be celebrated by the New York Times. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
Well, for me, it's the work that we've been doing for a while. It just feels good, to be honest, that it got to this point more than anything else. Because in Nigeria here, you start from a level.
Joey, I say celebration because when your work appears on New York Times, you as a writer, you as a photographer, it's not just you doing a job. It's also saying that this person's level is world class. This person's level is worthy of our platform. How does that make you feel?
I feel really good about it. Telling Nigerian story with a Nigerian writer, spotlighting all the talented young people. Like you said, it's like a process, and it's good now that a lot of young people have been been picked up by those international platform, and it's really interesting to be part of it, and it has to be done properly. We have to try to do it in the right way, protect our name as Nigerian, and kind of put people that wouldn't sit in their office in New York and write our story for us. So it's like reimagining or kind of taking our story back, taking our rights back from these people.
I guess also nuancing what it means to be Nigerian in the face of the whole FBI arrest and the stuff. I think it really matters that what you guys did, for instance, and what other young Nigerians are doing. Other Nigerians actually helps to show the other side of Nigeria that doesn't often get on the covers and in the papers.
Yeah, but I think this is the real side of Nigeria. This is the dominant side. People just going above and beyond to do things that are extraordinary or that are special. So I know the other side gets a lot of press
Yeah.
because of course it's shocking. It's that, but this ought to be the dominant story from this country.
So how did you do it? How did it happen?
How did it happen? Much of the work pitching, it was done by him. He did much of the work. Where I came in.
Did you guys know each other before the gig?
Yeah, we've worked together.
Okay.
We produced something, and I was assisting a photographer.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a project.
With a New Yorker.
Also about Nigerian, musician. But this was more of legendary features, Two-Face, Davido, and the rest of them.
Simi. That was last year.
That was last year.
Okay, I'll still come back to you. Well, I wanted to just be sure that you guys knew yourselves before. So continue on how.
So for the most part, he did much of the ideation and the pitching. Where I came in was, and then he took the beautiful photos. Where I came in was for the story. So they needed to tell the story. These pictures are out. He's taken all of this. So where would the story come from? So they reached out to me and they're like, hey, we're doing this, and we believe you have great storytelling skills. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Well, Stephen, what do you think is unique to your art, to your photography that helps for you to be in that situation where you could producing it for New York Times?
For the most part, I've seen great photographers from here, and tell stories that are relatable to their space and generation. I felt there's a need for me to kind of celebrate my own and my peers in a very interesting way. And it wasn't easy when I was starting because I kept doubting. I was like, oh, who's going to look at my work? There's thousands of photographers, and then I kept saying to myself that as an African, what makes me special is to kind of originate that fact. I need to stamp it on people that this is where I'm from, and instead of me thinking about, oh, this is what Kanye is doing out there, we should think more about what's happening in the Nigerian scene. Interesting.
Joey, so this is where the controversy comes in. Okay. What was the criteria to pick the names you picked? And then why didn't you pick some really, really popular ones that should have been on the list? I really would like to know, how did you guys decide that?
A lot of like I said, we had a conversation earlier before the interview. And I was finding out a few things about it. When I got contacted, they gave me these names. And for the most part, I've done something similar before for the New Yorker, where you choose, you have a story, you have the people who should be the players in that story, and then you reach out to these people. The first thing you go for first is availability. Availability above everything else, availability and access. For example, last year I reached out to like 10 people for a story, and the 10 biggest people, only like 5 responded. And so you stick with those 5, and then what happens? You still have space, and so the next set of deserving people, they come in. Well, in the end, it's to be considered for any platform like this, to be considered for any editorial work of this level, you need to have something good that you offer in the public or something that's story-worthy. So, yeah.
So what were the names that could have come in if you had more room?
More room. He mentioned Santi.
Okay.
If I had more room, I'd put Lady Donley in there. I put Lady Donley in there, and then there would have been...
No Rema?
No Rema. Yes, there would have been a Rema also.
Victor Adi?
Victor Adi, no, not Victor Adi, no.
Interesting.
No.
So, Stephen, I know you've also worked with local platforms. What were the differentiating factors between working for the New York Times, the process, don't mention the payments.
Yeah. Okay.
What could you say made it a bit different from working with Nigerian platforms?
I think for me, I've been quite fortunate with, stamping and aesthetics, that is kind of unique to my work. And when people reach out to me, they give me like a creative freedom to say, oh, we want you to shoot it as beautiful as your old work. Like you have to kind of take it to the next level. For this one, it was quite, because I pitched it 6 months ago, and they approved it, 3 months ago, and then there was an issue again about, making an editor from New York wrote the story. And I was referencing what I've done from the past, also with the New York Times, that, Ayodeji Otenwa wrote a story, there's Edwin Okolo wrote a story. Why not, give an active music writer in Nigeria a chance? And they were like, oh, this is, let's see, And I mean, already the work has been submitted. So I don't have much power, because also I was thinking about my payments, I was thinking about all kinds. This is, I was like, oh, should I really force it this time? So I was just like, okay, guys, I'll give you guys options, and I will send like options of like articles, and if really you think someone from your office can do this best, and they were like, let's give it a try,
So Joey, was that your first entry in New York Times?
For New York Times, yes. I've written for a lot of others. For Fader, I produced for New Yorker, I've done for CNN, DJ Booth, Mail and Guardian, all of them. So I've written for a bunch of these internationals. But for the New York Times, yes, this was the first time.
So what do you think is the next level for the Nigerian music industry? Because I think this thing has taken flight. So what's the next level?
The Nigerian music industry has a story that is special. It comes from nothing. It comes from individuals just banding together at every level and saying, we need to create a future for ourselves.
We need to create a future for ourselves. I think I'd stop there. Congratulations, guys. More power to your elbows. I'm really, really proud of you. I'm sure Nigeria is proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, that's been Rubbin Minds for the week. That's been Rubbin Minds for the day. Until next week when we come your way again, my name remains JJ Omojoa. Cheers.